Hello Internet, this video is part of the Jeep project playlist on Scott's Garage, where I've been doing a complete frame-off restoration of our 1946 Willys CJ2a. Now this video is all about the 6-volt ignition system and how I have kept it original 6-volt and I have mastered it. Now if you have a 6-volt system in your Jeep or any other classic vehicle and you have a hard time starting it, it just won't crank over, watch this video. I'll show you all the tricks. This Jeep will start instantly. Keep watching. Now, the overall sponsor of the Jeep project on Scott's Garage has been Kaiserwillys Auto Supply. They've been just a wonderful sponsor of this project. You can get 10% off your order at kaiserwillys.com by using my discount code SGarage upon checkout. This 10% off includes everything with the exception of tires, tubs, and tub kits. Now, before I show you the detail of how I figured this out, let me just say that it was a struggle to keep this 6-volt. I was tempted many times to switch it over to 12 volts because I got so frustrated. Now, we rebuilt the motor about 5 years ago. I started it for the first time about 4 years ago, but it wouldn't crank over. When I would push the start, it just would barely turn. I had to jump start it with a 12-volt battery, which was problematic, because 12 volts, anything over 6 volts, you can fry out your coil, which I did. You can fry out the points in the distributor, which I did. And again, it was a struggle. Now, to show you the secrets, we have to go back in time. Okay, we have now gone back in time since the intro to this video. I'm about ready to install the starter, the 6-volt starter. But before I do so, I want to show you what is absolutely essential. If you want to keep a 6-volt starter and you want to be able to hit that starter switch through the firewall and it start right away without any hesitation, here's what you need to know. First of all, there is an L bracket, and it is right here. It's a very thick L bracket, and the starter, there's a bolt, there's a hole. You can see that. I don't know if you can or not, but there is a hole right there, and there's a bolt that will join the starter to this, and it's needed just to keep it stable, but it also grounds, it joins the block to the negative of the starter. And what you need to know is that even though I painted everything, I have sanded on both sides of this L bracket right here, and then on the back side of this L bracket, and also the block, that is sanded smooth, clean metal. So this L bracket is definitely grounded, and that again is very important. Second thing I want you to notice is this very substantial grounding strap that basically joins the ground from the frame to the engine. Now this is the engine mount, and if you notice that there is substantial metal on the top side and also the bottom side, but what is in between is pure rubber. There is no metal touching here. Therefore, you need a grounding strap. And before I put the engine mount on, I taped it off and I used a grinder, and I made sure that even though I had painted the frame previously, that I grounded down to the bare metal, nice shiny metal. And likewise with the engine mount, it's bare metal right below that. Also with this grounding strap, there's a bolt that goes through here, and I have a special washer that has teeth in it that when I tighten this nut, it's just very firmly attached to the grounding strap, and then likewise on the top end as well. So you need to make sure that it's a grounding strap like this is used. Now let's move on, and I'm going to show you some things concerning the starter. Okay, here is the original Autolite starter. There we go, for this CJ2a. I rebuilt this starter, and I have a video on that. It's over a year ago that I rebuilt it. It's now a 77-year-old starter, but it runs great. And you can watch that video. I'll put it in the description below, and also make sure at the end of the video that it's linked, one of the videos that's linked. And some things to point out. So for one, this is the cable that joins the starter to the switch, again, that's in the firewall. And The cable, if you notice here, that's on here, the gauge of the current cable is 4 gauge. You see that? Right there it says 4 gauge. And even though it looks like a pretty thick wire, that is not thick enough. I've learned some things since I rebuilt the starter. So I'm replacing the 4 gauge with a thicker wire, which is a 1 gauge. So you see that? It's a 1 gauge and it is a lot thicker than the 4 gauge. When it comes to wiring, the lower the number, the thicker the wire. You need 1 gauge. And again, you can get all this through kaiserwillys Auto Supply. Also, with the battery cables. So when you order a battery cable, it's probably 12 volt and it's probably 4 gauge. Again, it looks like a thick wire, not thick enough. So I will be replacing the battery cables with the 1 gauge as well. Right, I will now install the starter. So you can see that the starter is in place. I have the 1 gauge wire coming off the switch to the starter, and likewise you can see the switch there. And you have the 1 gauge again coming to the starter, and then the other lead here, this is the battery terminal, positive. And I also have the negative battery terminal, which is right here. And likewise, you can see that it is 1 gauge. And I sanded down right here. And what I'll be doing next is adding a bolt, which is right here from the back side. I sanded both sides of that. Putting on this washer, which has teeth in it. I don't know exactly what it's called, a star washer or something like that. And then I'll put that in place and then put this nylon locking nut on it, and it'll cinch it in there and we'll have a really good ground. Okay, so we're back forward in time. Obviously, a lot of work has been done since I recorded that earlier video. For one thing, I had to replace the radiator. The original radiator, which I thought was good, it sprung a leak, and so I had to bite the bullet and buy a new radiator and some other changes as well. The next big change, though, which made all the difference in the world, was changing out the battery. Now, I had tried an 8-volt battery. I was told just get an 8-volt battery and it'll start easier than the 6-volt. You just have to adjust the voltage regulator. And I tried that. However, that 8-volt battery also struggled. Now, this is what I came up with, and this really is the ticket. This is an Ultima 6-volt battery, which pleases me because, again, it's 6 volt. This battery has 1,000 cranking amps. And as far as cold cranking amps, it's 800. You cannot beat this battery. I'll put an Amazon affiliate link in the description below for your convenience. You get the better price on Amazon. If you use my link, again, it's for your convenience. Eventually, Amazon will send me a small portion of the sale. It still costs you, though, the same. And this battery, I can't say enough good about it. Okay, enough talk. Let me prove to you how easily this starts. All right, very good, beautiful. I just love this. I don't have the steering wheel on it yet, and I push the choke all the way in. And I am going to back out a little bit so I don't get exhausted out of the garage. Okay, if you can hear me, I hope you got something out of this video. If you got any value at all from this video, please give me a like. It costs you nothing, but is a great value to me. And as always, have a great day.